Welcome, everybody, to the High Priestess for Ascension Light Language channeling. This is going to be a very, very sweet and sacred event, and I feel truly blessed to have the opportunity to share this time and space with you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being open, and thank you for bringing your energy and consciousness. We are, we have our work cut out for us today. Um, Originally I was thinking, well, we'll channel a few different dialects, see who comes through and all of that. But I had also put it out into the community that if there was anybody who wanted to hear from a particular group, to let me know beforehand. So I have gotten some requests. So we have the Lemurians, the Pleiadians, the Centurions, the Lyrans, and then of course the totality. And then those of you who are joining me live, you do have the opportunity, if you wish to hear from someone else, to throw that in the hat as well. So it's going to be packed full of great juju. I know it. So hopefully you guys are feeling the energies coming in. Maybe you see in the background behind me right here, I have Isis. Normally, I am not a superstitious person. I'm not someone who relies on a lot of things for any of my work. However, that being said, wait, this side, this beautiful statue, I guess, wanted to be here to help hold the space. And the other thing that needed to come in, which really surprised me, because I have only ever used this once, and it was at the Conscious Life Expo, was this spectacular wand. This is gorgeous, handmade with driftwood and feathers and this amazing quartz crystal on top. There's a piece of kyanite right there, right here. I've only had this in my presence channeling other than in my studio. If you're familiar with my YouTube channel, I have this actually on the bookshelf in the background, but I never hold it. It's always just kind of there. And it was interesting because when I was preparing for this, I just went, this wants to come and just hang out. So this is in our presence as well. Again, this isn't normal for me. It's not a typical thing to be grabbing stuff to assist with this process, but we're in the flow, right? We're honoring the energies, and that's how it goes sometimes. So this is an interesting workshop because I had originally put this workshop together to be part of a light language summit that was due to be released in May. And so I did the recording for the summit in May. And then I found out that, oh, they wanted a workshop to be included. And I said, okay, great. Yeah, let's do that. So this high priestess popped in and I was like, ooh, I like this. Okay, so let's go for that. And so we put it together. And then I found out that the summit wasn't going to be released when they thought it was going to be released. And this workshop was going to happen before the summit, which sort of was like, well, it kind of came together because of the summit. So I thought, okay, wait, pause. And that's why there was a delay in this workshop coming out. So some of you actually signed up way back. And then, then we were like, sorry, this is getting delayed. So that was why. And then we rescheduled because they said it's going to come out mid July. And then I didn't hear anything. Well, I got an email today that this summit's coming out in mid-August now. So the whole thing is kind of like, well, it's meant to happen now. I know it's meant to happen now because there's been so much energy coming in around this 8/8 portal. So what first started off as a high priestess channeling something about ascension, their amazing, incredible consciousness, any way that I love to work with personally. Suddenly it's been morphing into to new things, which is including the 8/8 portal. However, the energy that's coming in for the 8/8 portal, the reason why we're going to make this recording available going forward, and why it's relevant anyway, is because although it is specifically for the 8/8 portal this August 2024, it's going to be all the language that's coming through, all the activations, all the frequencies are going to be very useful to us in our ascension process, in our integration of the energies moving forward. So, and we of course know that time is not quite in a straight line. We can go back in time, so there's that whole element as well. I did get a message about the 8/8 portal that I would like to read to you. This is from the collective High Priestess. And so I'd like to read that to you now, and then I'm going to get into what exactly High Priestess is, because some of you might have questions about that. But first, let's just start with a short message that they gave me. I'm going to read that for you. The 8/8 portal. So for those of you who don't know, that's August 8th. So it's the 8th month and the 8th day. The 8/8 portal this year, 2024, is unlike any other. This portal marks a pivotal time for humanity, both on an individual and collective level, as well as for the planet and galaxy. This means beings on all levels will be influenced by this timestamp of evolution, even those whose consciousness resides outside of time. The significance of this timestamp is monumental. It is the marker for time to shift, where time both slows down and speeds up, depending on what timeline you participate with. This will determine whether you will experience a speeding or a slowing action. Until now, time has been speeding up due to the Earth's location within the galaxy and entering into the photon belt. Now, the galaxy itself is entering into a change in the shape of the universe, causing a warping in space. All stars, planets, and beings within the Milky Way will be affected by this bump in space. So, for those of you who may not know, at the center of the Milky Way galaxy, which is a spiral galaxy, we have the great central sun. That's a cluster, a huge cluster of stars. And that creates a massive amount of light that is emitted on a plane. And this is scientifically proven. I even found some articles like from NASA and other space agencies where there is this photon belt, this plane where we have an increased amount of photon activity. And because we're a spiral galaxy, and because our solar system is at the end of one of those arms of the spiral that's always rotating around, we as a solar system have entered into the photon belt. So this increased bandwidth of photon activity. And what that actually means is we are all being exposed to more light. So that is why we are all experiencing ascension symptoms. We are having this great mass awakening. Time is speeding up. The shadows are coming to the surface, because whenever we shed light on something, the darkness has to come up and out. So we see that on, I'm sure, on personal levels, but we also see it on a much larger scale, such as the political arena. See lots of that coming to surface, right? So the interesting thing, though, is I didn't know that we were all heading into this bump this almost like a glitch in this in the space that we're in, because don't forget, space is continuing to expand, and we as a galaxy are moving through space. So our solar system is moving through space. We as a planet are moving through space, but the galaxy itself is also moving through space. And so we've entered into this new area where things are shifting. And this is all part of the consciousness growing and expanding and coming to know itself and having different experiences. And it's all part of that greater picture. So now if we go back to the High Priestess, the High Priestess is in its totality a frequency band. So everything in all that is consciousness has different levels of frequencies, right? And because we're human, we like to categorize and we like to have higher and lower and stuff like that. I would encourage you to try and drop that, that higher means better and lower means worse. Is just a range, and we give meaning to that range. So we want to try and let go of the meaning for a moment and just accept that there's a range and it doesn't need to have more meaning than that. The High Priestess is a band of consciousness within the totality of consciousness. If we look at dimensions, the way that I have been shown dimensions, we have 12 dimensions, but within those dimensions are another 12. That's how we get to 144. Now, I also have been told, but consciousness is continuing to expand, so it's not going to be limited to 144, but that is the most like basic understanding for our brains to wrap around. Because all that is, consciousness, is a fractal. And fractals continue to go into themselves, don't they? They continue to morph and go into themselves. So the High Priestess is a consciousness band that crosses all those dimensions, all those realities, so the 144. Okay, it's in its totality. Now, the cool thing is that if you've been following me for a while, you know that I like to talk about all these different dialects. So the Pleiadians reside within a general frequency band. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they are in the 7th dimension, because they're actually in a range. All the beings, by the way, are in a range. So if anybody says to you, oh, the Syrians are only in the 12th dimension, that's wrong. They are not all in the 12th dimension. That some of them are, but not all of them are. So just it's extremely complicated, and people like to oversimplify. So we're just trying to take something that's complicated and make it sort of digestible. And then if we need to expand, we can. So let's say the Pleiadians reside in the 6th or 7th dimension. Now the High Priestess will also be in the 6th or 7th dimension, but they'll be within a specific vibration within that range. Okay, so you can have the totality of the Pleiadians residing in the 6th or the 7th dimension, both. But then within that is a special band that's the High Priestess. The same thing will go with the Centaurians. The same thing will be with the Arcturians. The same thing will be with all of them. Even for humanity, there's a High Priestess consciousness for humanity. There is. And for humanity, there will be that specific frequency band, and that will be where the High Priestess consciousness is. Now, as all of us have aspects that are divine feminine, all of us have aspects that are divine masculine. And we're working to honor both those aspects and bring them into the appropriate balance. And when we are really in tune with those divine masculine, divine feminine, then we have greater connection to these higher frequencies. So I have yet to connect with the I don't even know how to say it. High priest, I guess it would be the high priest consciousness. I haven't connected with that yet because I've been working more on the divine feminine and accepting my femininity and honoring that. So that's been more of a self-focus. Doesn't mean if one of you asked me that I couldn't figure it out, because we seem to be able to do that. Okay, so the totality of the High Priestess is inclusive of each individual, how do we say this? Each individual star system's consciousness. So it's inclusive of the Pleiadians, it's inclusive of the Arcturians, the Centurions, the Lyrans, the so forth. Okay, so it's the totality of it all. It tends, the High Priestess is above. Remember, I told you to drop the hierarchy, and here I am using it. It is above the general consciousness, because generally the general consciousness is of a little bit lower awareness. The High Priestess has a higher awareness, and it's also more refined than the typical consciousness of the majority of beings. So if we look at humanity, that's really crystal clear. We know, look around us, there's a range of levels of awareness, not being judgmental at all. There just is, right? Like, this is a fact. And for those of us who think that we are pretty aware, it's all degrees, and the High Priestess is a level above that. So just knowing that in general. Okay, so I would love to jump into some channeling. Because, oh, interest. Oh, sorry, they're like fighting to get in front. Not fighting, but they're like, we want to go first. There's the Lemurians and the Pleiadians are both chomping at the bit to bring the frequencies in. Okay, it's going to be the Pleiadians. They figured it out. So what I would like to begin with before we start channeling, I'd like to invite you to just take a moment. Let's tune into our heart space. We're just going to slow our breath and focus in on our heart. Imagine feeling, sensing energy and the breath moving in and out through the heart space with your breath. Nice and slow, a little deeper than usual. This is called heart focused breathing. It is a heart math technique, proven to balance the nervous system. And I've personally found that it helps us to center and become more open to receive, and also more conscious of the energies as we receive them. Because the energies of these channelings are quite high vibrational, I do recommend that you try to keep your attention on your feet as well, so that you stay grounded. I am a fan personally of bringing earth energy up through the bottoms of the feet, rather than bringing cosmic energy down through the crown and into the earth. So because we're already doing that with especially light language, I like to balance it with the earth energy, because we are in avatars, bodies that are of the earth. And this will help us to ground the energy in a more proficient way, and in a way that helps our bodies integrate the frequencies with greater ease. I've found, right or wrong, but what I've noticed with people is those who stay heart chakra and above and forget about the legs, or only ground through their tailbone and forget about the feet, tend to have more ascension symptoms. They tend to have the like the healing crisis ascension symptoms that aren't so much fun. That's just been my experience. Might not be the case for everybody. So big fan of including the feet. So we can just bring our attention down to our feet now, feeling our feet either on the floor, or if you're sitting cross-legged, just, you can almost feel like with your attention going there, there's that sensation, almost like a little bit of buzzing. That's really good. That means that you're connected there. So, okay. And the other little bit of housekeeping is, with all of the light language that we channel, it is all heart-centered. It is all of utmost integrity. It is in alignment with love. This means that your being gets to discern always what you receive. So if there is something, if there is an energy, a frequency that is not relevant or not appropriate for you as an individual, your higher aspects have full discretion to work with it or not. So you can really trust that you can just be with this and you're taken care of. You have incredibly intelligent aspects that know what to do with this energy. Okay, it's coming in pretty strong now, hey? We're starting to feel it. All right, so the Pleiadians. Greetings, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are a collective of seven. 7 beings who've come together today to connect with you, to help you heal, and to help expand your consciousness. You are entering into a portal of utmost importance. This is an incredible opportunity for you to align your consciousness, align your truth, and align your love in ways that you have yet to do. And I know that all of the beings that are coming today to assist will be holding this intention. That more aspects of you come together and mesh and create a beautiful woven tapestry of your love, integrating to create more consciousness, more ease, more light. So that you can move about your life with greater mastery. This time that we're entering, it's like a breaking or a crack in space-time. An opportunity for your consciousness to hyper focus. This hyper focusing into a portal. Bringing your awareness to greater intensity. So you can see perceive and know with greater clarity the truth of all that is. Ada ada asiu kromatana upanishanada. You will feel it in your body when you are shown these truths. And it will be easier for you to align to them. You will also gain clarity on what is false. Because knowing what is false is just as important as knowing what is true. Humanity is in a very critical and crucial time. This time is important because you are entering into the golden age. A time when humanity has the opportunity to raise consciousness and finally find peace. It is your destiny to find this peace. But you must raise your consciousness in order to find it. So this 8-8 portal gives you a greater opportunity to align. So you can find peace within yourself, which is the starting point for the greater consciousness. We know that the beings who come after us will offer you healings and activations. So we will just leave you with this message. Stay true, seeking alignments with your heart. Your heart knows the way. Okay. That was nice. Pleiadians. Thank you to the High Priestess Pleiadian group. Take a moment to breathe. Let that energy settle. I can tell that the Lemurians are going to be offering a activation / healing, as will the Centurions. I don't know what the Lyrans, I never know how to pronounce them. I hear different things all the time, so I don't know. It's like tomato or tomato, that's both right. I don't know what they're gonna do. The cats are always different, so cats are different, right? We know that. We know that cats are different. Okay. Okay, the Pleiadians ask if there are any questions. So if there's anybody live in this group today who have any questions, you're welcome to put in the chat or unmute and ask directly.
I think you can talk now. I think it's unmuted. Yeah, I unmuted it. Can I? They had said something about it's really important to, and I'm not sure if I got it. Raise your consciousness, right? I'm pretty sure that's what you said, and I know this is kind of a dumb question. Is there, is there guidance on how to follow that, how to do that, how to easily raise our consciousness, just our opening our heart, or
So it is in no way a dumb question. It is an incredibly important question, and one that we don't explore enough. So there are, and this is them talking, just there are many schools of thought on how to raise consciousness. There is, because Earth, humanity, and a lot of the star systems that are around Earth, like the Pleiades, like Centaurus, all of them are going into the photon belt. So there really is a great shift in consciousness all around our solar system. Earth specifically has had generations, centuries of teachings that have come through that have been developed in past times. And although this will not be a popular thing to say, there are teachings that are old and should remain there. So there's new teachings coming forward that are more current with the energies that we are all receiving. So it can be helpful to go back and look at some of the ancient techniques that have been very good for humanity, but know that one mustn't get stuck there because it won't serve you for very long. For example, some chants, some kriyas, some practices are very useful at moving energy through the body. When one moves energy through the body, they are releasing old stagnant energy. This is always good. And this will always help to raise consciousness. One must just be careful of the dogma, the belief systems associated with those practices. Any practice that is heart-centered will be very helpful, provided there is no dogma. The connection to the heart soul essence will always be the best thing that an individual can do. So any kind of heart work that doesn't have dogma attached to it will be helpful. Any meditations, anything that helps one to begin to explore the depths of the heart. The heart is much, much more than a chakra. It is much, much more than the transformational center. It is much more than the access point to the soul. It is all of these things, but it is also a kaleidoscopic aspect of yourself that is fractal in its own right. And if you can touch the potential of what that really means, then you will really go far in raising your consciousness. Becoming more sensitive to energy is part of raising your vibration and raising your consciousness. So when you become more sensitive, it's important that you don't overreact to that sensitivity. There's no such thing as an insensitive sensitive.
how do you not overreact?
Okay.
So raising your vibration and your consciousness are kind of simultaneous. Simultaneously, you raise your vibration and your of consciousness. And I am a very sensitive person. And I just had an experience where I came in contact with a being, and I still vibrate from that. I still feel, even though I know it's not with me, either part of it or some of it or something happened. So, and my friend's knocking me, going, yeah, are you listening? Yeah. So, yeah, okay, all makes
Yes,
sense.
because that being was helping to align your nervous system to be able to carry more energy, and your nervous system is in the process of integrating it. So you still feel it as an intense experience. Once you have fully integrated it, it will be like it never happened, except that you will have more awareness. You are more aware.
My friend said the same thing. It's just taking time to integrate. And I was like, cool, Anna, that's great. Yeah. Because I keep thinking, did I do something wrong? Is it not right? And I just have to relax and let it integrate. And it was aligning my nervous system. That's great.
Yeah, it's okay. It's back to me now. It's amazing how some of those experiences can go, and they can be so intense, and they can like take days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months to really sort out. And then once it completes, it's almost like you forget. It's like, what did that ever even happen? Like that was like a whole lifetime ago. And then you can't even remember what it was like before. It just is, it's just you now.
And it does seem to like get stronger and then back off and get stronger. And so, and that's it integrating then, right?
Yeah.
It's integrating. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
And
it's not something you feel every day. It's not something you do every day. And so and you want to make sure you ask all the questions.
yes, because if it came all at once, it would be too overwhelming for your nervous system. The nervous system
Oh,
would freak out. Like there'd
okay.
be, it wouldn't be fun for you.
No.
And there's probably, I'm assuming maybe there have even been moments where it hasn't been fun for you, even with it being the way it is.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if it had all come at once? And that's just not, it's
Yeah.
really hard. So one of the things that can help is the grounding. Again, pulling the earth energy up through the bottoms of the feet. Let's go over that now, because not everybody will know this practice. This is a grounding practice that was given to me by one of my great teachers, Rosalind Bruyere. And when she first met me, I was one of the most ungrounded people I think she'd ever met. And I was in the top 20 um, best at dissociating. Now, that's not a category you want to be included in. That is high dysfunction right there. So, like, and that's a story for another time. But it was bad, and so she happened to be teaching the workshop, and included this grounding practice, and then told all of us that we had to, or she was suggesting that we practice it morning and night for 30 days straight. And that would give our body enough time to learn how to do it properly, because it actually is something that our bodies should do naturally. It's something that should have been passed down to us from our parents and grandparents and great grandparents, but it's something that was forgotten about because of, well, quite frankly, a lot of religions. A lot of religions thought the lower half of us were bad, right? Like, don't go down there. We want to stay up here. So that's why a lot of spiritual practices don't include the legs, because
No.
that's bad no-go zone.
Yeah.
So we're going to evolve past that and find much healthier function by connecting with the earth. That is not bad. Earth is good. Earth is a good thing. The earth consciousness is very good. And we are beings of the earth. And to be disconnected from the earth is to be just giving us a huge disservice. So the practice is, we have chakras on the bottoms of our feet. then in the arches of our foot is a chakra. And when we walk and our foot kind of bends up, right? And as we rock onto our toes, and then there's this action where the arch of the foot engages, and that action is like a suction cup.
Yeah.
So what's supposed to happen when we walk across the earth with shoes on, okay, we don't have to be barefoot. You can have shoes on. You could be walking on an airplane, on the aisle of an airplane at 32,000 feet in the air and still be grounding yourself. You do not have to have your bare feet in the soil to ground. That's also some made up thing. But this suction cup is literally drawing the earth's energy into the foot. And then as we walk, that energy goes up our body and even makes it all the way to the crown. Once it makes it to the crown, we have a choice. We get to either keep the energy in our body by just relaxing and letting the energy stay in the body, or if we want a more meditative, more intensely meditative experience, then we can push the energy out our crown. And then on the inhale, it gets drawn back up and you create a conscious connection to the toroidal field. Okay. So just a quick recap, the earth has an electromagnetic field. We are electromagnetic beings. Pulling the earth's electromagnetic energy into our body, very good thing for our body. So if we were to do this practice, it would be on the inhale, imagine, feel, sense, perceive energy coming in to our feet. Exhale, we relax. Inhale draws energy up a little bit further. Exhale, relax. And we track that all the way up our body, taking as long as we need until we reach the head. Now, when you're first learning to do this, this could be a 15-minute exercise. It could take you 20 minutes. Whatever it takes is how long it takes. But once you get good at it, you're doing it in 2 or 3 breaths. You're pulling that energy up so fast, it's like totally second nature to you, which is why Rosalind taught us to do this every single day, twice a day for 30 days. Because that's how long it takes to program the body to teach it how to do it properly. And then it's easy peasy, so easy. Okay. Now, another little bonus is if we release it out the crown before we go to sleep, we will have a greater chance of falling asleep faster because we go out through the crown when we fall asleep. We go into dream world, out into astral plane. So when we do the grounding practice before bed, push it out the crown. If you don't have a headache, I find if you have a headache, sometimes you can try it. It could be some stuck energy in the crown. So pushing the energy out the head can help relieve a headache. But if it's a migraine and you have, that's like 9 times out of 10, you have too much energy in your head. So play it by ear. Okay. It might intensify, it might relieve it. Know that's something that you have to tune in and decide for yourself in the moment. But before you go to sleep, push it out the crown. Hopefully you'll fall asleep faster, and that's a nice little thing. Okay, so that might help you integrate the ascension energies and the gifts that spirit offers us. All right, Lemurians. We're moving on to the Lemurians now. There's a lot of water. Lemuria always has a lot of water element with them. So I'll invite you to come back to your heart space in preparation of receiving these very special beings. We'll be jumping back into the light language. Lemurian High Priestess. Ona kabatana ishikupotakamede sekyokopadana ishikopatana shena danasai. Tetea sana tayevada. Thank you so much for including us in this special transmission time. We would love to offer you a light language activation to assist you in this new era that you're entering into. Humanity really is set to enter the golden age, which will be a higher consciousness age. Although there are energies and consciousness that are playing the oppositional role, there always will be, due to the nature of the polarity consciousness of these realms. The light consciousness will have the upper hand during the golden age, moving humanity into a much more functional state of being. You have chosen to be part of a very great show. And we understand that this show can be disturbing at times, and it can be hard to remain focused. So we wish to offer you a soothing message activation. Now we realize that soothing and activation aren't necessarily congruent terms. So allow us to explain. In order to raise your consciousness, you must be calm. You must find peace within yourself. So this is an activation for greater peace. To ride the turbulence with greater ease. To find less reactivity to the challenging energies. So aligning your being to less reactivity. Yeah. Shanadalaya sayatagamantokabade, Tana Togana, Soya tea, Tatagi Sekitari, Sakotana, Soya, Danana Yasikatagabati. Vegetarian Sikitaki, but the Yesakatadi, so Shanada Yesabana, Togobutana Apana, Dana, Sokipati, Sekita Katari, Yaskatagaman Shamana. Continue feeling into your heart space. Continue feeling into your feet. Patata de yesaki yo takamanata chagnanda cha. Pachada da lazy takapata antanta shakita giza takamodama. Sanaki shikatakata kimatakabada jana sina tikakashikamata yesieta. Sada asa sai tiketona. Hapea tokabadona asai tani jana samot kamatia sham. Odana asi tokapatana yeshikabada. So right down to the cellular level of your being, there is a vibration. This vibration has been programmed to be a little bit too volatile. So what this means is that when you come across energies that you are predisposed to be what we would call triggering, this energy gets activated, hence the trigger response. What we would like to offer you today is to soften that vibration and to shift it ever so slightly to be more in alignment with your love. Now, if you would prefer to remain highly triggerable, you are welcome. But if you would like greater ease and calmness in the depths of your human experience, we invite you to receive this slight shift. The isara atrobotana ishiotokamatana isatana ishatana kopotana patai. Chakana DS Kichkana Gutakanana Sadala Chikachkana to give the sea. So to the Kitakata Yamatana see at Kamanda. Hotanana Tanana see at Kapota Commandanta. Hotakamana see at Kopotanana. Hapana he at the Kizikat Jan Atana. Paita, 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 pakatari, sigachkana, atsagi, sigabato, hushigaba, hushigabla, hushgabla, 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 patana apashiga, zianaja, pushigabadana siaticana, pushigabadana siaticana, pushigababa siaticana, pushigabadana siapansha, pa siono, pa siono, pa panasiotacabana, is undoing those constructs that were added generations ago that have made humanity volatile. Bah. Bah. Bahia soya dagi nanayish kamanaya to kamanana kamanai shanana yesukotana Hanayish kamanaya kamanana kamanana om nagi no zai no kamanai. I know, I know, I know. Anisia noga sanoga manio, shana manio, shana manio. Healing those energies that were placed generations ago, consciously and unconsciously. Letting go of the vibrations that no longer serve you in accordance with your love. Oh. Feeling that energy settle now, coming into quiet. Finding an expansiveness to all of your cells as they are free from that imposing vibration that is no longer there. Feeling the peace in your field. Oshanatana. Io. 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 And then bringing your attention back to your heart. Yeah. Thank you for allowing us to offer you this healing today. Oshikamatesa. Tarkira. Go. Hada hada. Hada 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 hada. Sas. That's lovely. Gratitude. Thank you, Lemurians. Couple of deep breaths. Just letting that energy settle now for a moment. Have a drink of water. Wow. Ooh, wow. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly feel um a great deal of calmness. My field definitely feels soft. I also feel empowered. I feel like I could take on more and know that I could handle it and not spin out or something, you know?
I had a question.
Please.
Oh, so this part of it was the nervous system, right? That they were, um,
So they were dialed in. How it's very interesting how these energies work. So I get shown a lot with like on a cellular or a molecular level, um, which is inclusive of the whole body. So what they do is they work on like one cell or one molecule.
but in the whole body.
Yeah, they just give one. Okay. And when the energy shifts for that one, it shifts for them all. So it isn't like, I mean, that I don't know, because it's completely irrelevant which cell or which
Yeah.
molecule or whatever. I'm just watching it happen, and then I know that it's going up through the entire body. Once you shift it there, it shifts everything here. And that is quantum entanglement, right? Where
And
you,
my question was that we were programmed with this to overreact, to cause strife in our society. We were programmed on
yes.
purpose to overreact, and so now at least all of us are going to be calm.
Yeah, well, we'll be a lot calmer. And what this is doing, so what they're saying is that it's giving us an upper hand now. So this isn't you don't get to now forget about all your shadow work and belief work, but what it's going to do is it's going to give you the upper hand on those things, and it's going to help with, you know how sometimes you become aware of an energy, or maybe you're not even becoming aware of an energy, but let's say you become aware of an energy and it can feel very daunting or challenging in some way to address it. So what this is doing is it's helping to um, keep that response, that essentially fear response,
Yeah,
down. But
yeah,
it's also, when we're out and about in our world and we get triggered by something, right? That trigger won't be as volatile, it won't be as dramatic, and hopefully as well there will be consciousness brought to that trigger event, and then because you're not going as far into fear, then we won't feel as overwhelmed perhaps to address it in the moment. And I don't believe that um, this sort of healing has to be a big event. We make it a big event. Some of us do, anyways, make it into a big, elaborate deal to do shadow work and belief work and all this stuff. And frankly, our consciousness, we can get to a point where we say, oh, wow, thanks for bringing that to my attention. Okay, calm. First is calm. And then I choose to release this. This isn't who I am. And it's amazing how often that is incredibly powerful. And in a lot of cases, that's enough. Now, sometimes now it comes in at a different angle and, like it's peeling the onion, right? But that's going to
Right.
happen with all the shadow work, with all the belief work. Like there's always something else to dig out. So, but it just doesn't need to be as quite a bigger production.
Right. And
Um,
if we can react to it a little differently, then it's
yes.
easier on us. It flows out easier, makes room for more positive. So yeah,
Yes.
if you don't have that reactive fear, whatever, aggravation, then you can work through
Mhm.
it.
And
I
of course,
appreciate it.
the people around us, the people in our lives, we're helping them by not jumping into such a big emotional response. So, of course, this doesn't mean that we aren't going to have emotions. Being human is experiencing emotions. So, we're not dampening that experience, but what we're doing is we're just dialing back the intensity of that experience, especially when it pertains to the belief work and things, which is a lot of a lot of it. Like a lot of our reactions are based on our beliefs. So, and things that we don't even realize that we believe, that we've inherited from family and just from society and what we're being taught on to believe on social media. We're being taught things all the time, so we're highly teachable. All right. Okay. So we have the Centurions, the Lyrans, and Totality left. Centurions are here. Okay. Unless, of course, there's someone you would rather hear from, but they're here. They like to talk. I have connection with the Centurions, so they're always kind of around. Um, I even have like in time memory connection. It's not even memory. It's just connection of an aspect of myself that's currently Centurion. Super complicated. But yeah, it's pretty cool. That part is sitting up in the Galactic Federation at some kind of like computer device thing. They call it a computer because we can relate to a computer, but it's kind of like that. Um, okay, but it's not no, where I'm not the one who's talking though. It's the High Priestess that's talking. Sorry, as I have a conversation with myself as another being. Um, yeah. Um, Interesting story though. I wonder if I could find it. Do I have it? Do I have it? Do I have it? Let me see if I have it. I made a Oh yeah, I do. Ooh, can I show you? Can I show you this? Okay, let me see. Share screen. Share screen. Photos. And share, please. So this is, oh, can you? Oh, favorites. This one. Huh. I wish I could make it bigger for you, but it's not really making it bigger. Um, oh, there we go. Bigger. I figured it out. Look at me go. Okay. So this is a little flow chart that I made. So we have the galactic councils, and each one of these guys and more, right, have their own little galactic councils. And then they also have the Council of Light, and there's the Galactic Federation. So all of these guys, and on it goes, right? So it's not just these, right? It's also the Syrians and, whoever else are included in the Galactic Federation. And so some beings are in the Galactic Federation of Light, some beings are in the Council of Light, some beings are in both. And then out of the beings who make it to this level, there are some that continue on because they're higher dimensional into the Diamond Council. And the Diamond Council is then the beings who have the consciousness can move into these councils. And then the beings in these councils can move into these levels of mastery. So the ascended masters, the archangels, other revered beings of light that occupy these councils. So the high priestess is Diamond Council and above. There's some, like, basically the beings in the Diamond Council are increasing their consciousness, in the process of increasing their consciousness to get into high priestess. So it's kind of like this level of consciousness, I guess, that haven't quite made it to the ascended master section. So and my being is in that Diamond Council. Tigers of the Light. Tigers of the Light is in the Diamond Council. Question was Centurions. Are they the Alpha Centurions? So it is inclusive of the Alpha Centurions. So the generally when I speak about the Centurions, it's all of it. So that's inclusive of even the Hadarians, which are also Centurions. But we can channel specifically the Alpha Centurions. We can specifically channel the Hadarians. The High Priestess, though, is inclusive of all the Centurions and then that specific frequency band. So we today are channeling that specific frequency band that is inclusive of all the Centurions, no matter what star or planet or moon or whatever the beings are kind of connected to. Yeah. Yeah. Those are terms that we understand. It's so complicated, you guys. Like it's really like, you get into these dimensions and non-physical, non-location, outside of time surfers, like it's like things that are very challenging for our brains to comprehend unless we can see it. Like and I encourage you, if it's of interest to you, to start asking your team to show you how this all works, because we can kind of describe it and try to describe it. But there's a big difference between me trying to explain it to you and you having that firsthand experience of being shown something. So, I do my best, but for sure, ask your team if that's something of interest. Okay, Centurions, what are we doing? Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, okay. So so if you've been following me, you know that I've been talking a lot about the future self. And the future self is the part of us that is in the future / outside of time that is, well, fully complete, okay, but understanding that consciousness continues to evolve and advance. So we're never actually complete, but we can be a lot more together than what you and I are right now, being a human in this lowly third dimension, really bumping up against a lot of oppositional forces and things like that. And part of the mission for humanity is that we do raise our consciousness and move into this more elevated awareness within the golden age. That's the prophecy. And what that actually means is connecting deeper into our heart space so that we can have that heart soul essence connection and be more in tune with the truth of all that is. So part of that is understanding that you never stop learning, you never stop growing. Oppositional forces are just that. It's the dark energy that is providing a resistance for the light to bump up against. And that can be really challenging and it can be downright awful to experience, but understanding from this more elevated state of consciousness that it is just an experience. And the oppositional force is there for a reason, and it's actually not a bad thing. Okay? It's not a bad thing. We need it in order to learn and grow. And it can look awful, it can play out in terrible, terrible ways that are no fun for everybody. And there's beings who choose to act it out. And the light needs that. The light needs them to act it out. But we're entering into a period of time here with the golden age where the oppositional force is waning so that the light can have a greater level of expression. And how that continues to translate for us as humans having this experience is that we are finding greater levels of peace, joy, happiness, freedom of expression, more command over our energy and what we are manifesting within and around us. And part of that is that the future self already does all of that, and the future self is outside of the programs and the belief systems and the limited whatevers, right? That the opposition kind of plays for us, that we've chosen to take on. The future self is free of all that. So why we are bridging that gap is bringing the future self closer to us so that we can start to understand what it is to be without all of that, so that we can start integrating it into our body now. Because at some point, we're going to do that, which is part of that whole golden age thing, right? So a lot of our work here with the light language that we channel has that going on in the background. Sometimes I specifically say this is a future self activation, whatever. But to be honest, all of the light language that I'm channeling, because I have that conscious connection to a much, 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 much bigger picture, I'm bringing that through as like this ongoing sort of thing that I may or may not talk about. Okay, because ultimately, like, who doesn't want that? And because everything's always channeled in love, in accordance with love, your being gets to just decide what it's going to work with anyway. So it's there for those who want it. For those who don't care for it for whatever reason, you don't have to take it, and it's totally cool. I don't know. I'm not judging at all. It's completely up to the individual, and each one of us gets to decide what energies we want to participate with, right? That's part of the whole free will thing. So we're honoring of that. Okay, so the Centurion's High Priestess, this is a group of 9. They are wanting to do an activation with that specifically inclusive of the future self. Is there anything else that we need to know right now? Nope. Okay. Okay. This can be intense. So make sure that you are really feeling your feet and heart space. Okay. And if it gets to be feeling too intense, that means that you need to bring more attention to your feet. Okay, so it should not be overwhelming at all. I was the person that if there was any kind of energy coming in, I was like, I was out of my body. Like, so this much energy and I was out of my body. So that's why we're kind of sharing this. So for some of you, it won't be intense at all. For others, it could be very intense. So just feel your feet, keep breathing, deep breaths. Okay, Centurion, High Priestess. Get kama atokama shiada kapata isakapakana kaman ishkapatana lokapati siget kanikopana kene siget needs kenatumna hanatana atagita kapata ishkatopapana isakapatani. Thank you so much for including us in this transmission today. We are honored to offer you a activation for the future self. We will start slow, building the energies, aligning various parts of your energy field and your physical vessel to be able to carry more light and more of the truth of who you are. Oshana tana isi abadona matana yeshigata teriesaka pandaria tana isikabata yesikoshikata atana tia takino shana atana asana yushikabana upapapane esikiti yisikata ku takata tuku tukamanta teesakitukabata tana sekibata desa panata yesikabachikana yesikaban gopatano. So the energy is just nice and smooth and gentle. Please feel your heart space. Please feel into your feet. Badada yesikabatano, opening up the channels, bishigamandano gabatano, shabadada tokabatana isa, centering into the heart. Everything always comes back to the heart. Everything will come through the heart. Even when it comes in through your field, it will be the heart frequency that really takes it in and tunes it perfectly to your being. The intelligence of the heart. Hona abana 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 yesigaman kaman abodama abana 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 yesigaman nataya abana 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 ho. Adana, 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 dari sekamata yeskamata yetapa sanandi shikapata sekapata tanya takiana takina tikana 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 kedika ha ha ha. Tikara shikapata yeskapata na yeskapati shikatati 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 takamata kamata yeskapata to go to pana asi shikatata yeskapata kena tana hatanda yeskapata go to kamana atana ishikataka radade hati yeskatade yeskapata yeskatata go roda namata tana hamina na yeskapati shikati tukapata satsatana 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 bishikata yeskapata shikapata kupana pushigana Poshana, Poshigamana Shigapopopeshigana, Poshigana Poshikabata, Yesik Bishikate, ho, ho, when the Yesikamadi, Hana Asaya D, Hoshamana, Hanna day, Hanna day, Hanna day, Hanna day, Hanna day, Hanna day, and Hanishka Bandangis Kabanda Rotanasa, holding a man, Gabanese, 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 hon, Hasigan ideas about Chukamana de Sapatis, go to Kamat, that Capesi, Kidisa, Katakabata, Umana, Isakabatancha, Hatta yes, a Pochukamana, Hopachiganana, 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 Hoppane, 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 ho, Juana yesi ha dari sekamati onan mani siana na Dana hiskamana dana Poshigamani takanana Poshigamani takanana Poshigamani tatanana 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 Hanna Hanna, 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 Hanna. Shona. Say itakamatake she not kabotakamande sikapati itakamatchikanat day sikapate chikananaitana honani me shiananagamanakamananis kamanatakamanatikamanatikamanatikamanashkamana hoshikamanatakamanashama hoshikanariesikamanu. Ooh, and then yes, like a yes, like a manita, but yes, I got the atomata, so that I see t dama. Da ma na ma. Dia de ready sigmanda no degmini si tikwakamata na aso what the yes kana together she cannot come on. Homate, 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 bona dia, sona dia, sona dia, sona dia, sona dia, sona dia, sona dia, dan. Ai hotakama to kiti shikata tak takamata tak takamanta takata takamana takati isikatiko papa patakende isotokamata takamande to shonapatana sapa show nice deep breath in through the nose out through the mouth tapashamatanaso patatata shomaso patatana shomaso patatana shomaso tapatana shomaso tatamana tonasho totakamo tokatano sokatatano sokatatano so nice big inhale again in through the nose out through the mouth letting it all go pashinate yesagamata panisi 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 hana soa hana soa hana soa hana soa choosing to experience greater ease and flow with the universe. Shokabadanaisi. Choosing to radiate and feel love with a capital L. Tayit tayit kabatanaso. Choosing a peaceful mind. Hokine shikata kamananda. And choosing to live life through the direction of the heart. Atkita yesem. Pikena atakamanatokibesi tanatakaba. Releasing in perfect timing all that no longer serves in accordance with love. Ashikanatikatakamantakamani. Sadatana e shikatakimatakamantakamani sakidokaba. Choosing to stand in my authority. Choosing to be the empowered being that I am. A radiant being of light. Nice big inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. Letting go of any tension. And now feeling into the power that has accumulated in your field, as well as the softness that has accumulated in your field. Hapana, hapana, hapana. Harada isko. Hara, hara. Hara, 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 sa, sa. Ooh. Okay, take another few deep breaths and let that energy settle. That was quite a transmission there. That felt like for me, that felt like just like so much affirmation and like the bridge is getting stronger between my current self and my now self and my future self, like that, like it's just getting closer. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, I've focused a lot of energy on this, but so hopefully those of you who are also participating with all these future self channelings and stuff, the specific ones, hopefully that last transmission, you're really like feeling like, okay, maybe it felt powerful to you, but it felt familiar. Like there's something um, different happening now. And what's really becoming clear to me as we're moving through this session together is that the 8-8 portal, um, this is a time for us to really make that declaration that we want that future self close, because that is our guide, right? So we have all these amazing aspects, right? Everybody always talks about the higher self and the soul and whatever. Um, the soul, the soul has a lot going on, right? Like the soul's not overly concerned about what you do in this life. And I know that's not like something that maybe a lot of people are aware of or maybe want to hear, but the soul has an infinite um amount of facets. You know how you know what a disco ball looks like, right? And you know how each one of those little mirrors is facing just a slightly different direction, and then now you get all those amazing twinkles and sparkles and light reflecting off those mirrors, right? And that's what makes it cool. That's what your soul's like. So each one of those facets is a potential for your soul to hyper focus its energy and consciousness into a life. So you are a hyper focused disco ball mirror, come right into this physical existence. Meanwhile, your soul has like an infinite amount of other mirrors that it may or may not be paying attention to. Okay. But it's all part of this evolution in consciousness. So that's why I say the soul may or may not be overly concerned with what you're doing because, well, it's all about experience anyway. So have fun, right? We're just throwing some energy over here. This is gonna play out somehow. Like it's all gonna be information at the end. Like you, you know, and here we are all worried about paying taxes and following rules and like, thinking that everything we do is of total utmost importance, which, in the moment it is, but in the greater picture, just saying. But anyway, this 8-8 portal, we're it's a real opportunity for us to keep bringing that future self closer, that our consciousness that is involved with this life is saying, hey, we this is what we're looking for, this is what we're going for, we're going for more awareness, we're going for greater ease, we're going for greater peace, we're going for greater joy, we're going for whatever it is that's important to you, that is well, yeah, whatever it is that's important to you. And the future self already has all that figured out, and you're just bringing that closer, and that portal that's like this gap in space-time continuum that gets opened up. That's what a portal is. You get a stronger glimpse as to what all that is. So you get that more of that clarity. Yeah. Whew, okay. It's a lot of energies, but we're good. Okay. Are you guys okay to keep going? We kind of have two more. If you're up for it. Isis, we have a request for Isis. Would it be possible to channel the energy of Goddess Isis before we part? It's very auspicious that she's present with us today. That is totally right. Yeah. Okay, I feel like the Lyrans are next, and then we will do Isis. Isis / Yeshua. Okay. So they are very connected, those two. Some even say that Yeshua is the divine masculine aspect of Lady Isis. And she is the, well, the priestess, and he's the priest. Sort of. They tell me I'm wrong, but it's something like that. We don't need to get caught up on definitive terms here. We're going to let go of the labels. Okay, so the cats now. The cats. They're always fun. Oh gosh, I always love channeling these guys, the Lyrans. Okay. What are we doing today? Okay, so there's 5 of them. So, okay, so they would like to clarify that with the consciousness band of a high priestess, such as the Lyrans or the Pleiadians or whoever, there are many potential beings involved, and it's always shifting. So, because beings, and it's not even like necessarily a being thing, it's literally consciousness. So, okay, can you explain a very complicated thing? They're gonna try. So if you have a soul, and that soul has all these disco ball mirrors that are hyper focusing and landing in a bunch of different realms and dimensions and whatevers. You might have an aspect as a Lyran, you might have an aspect as a human, you might have an aspect as a Pleiadian, you might have an aspect as some inner earth being, you could have an aspect as a dragon, whatever, right? All at the same time, because time's just a dimension unto itself. So, because everything's all happening now, that always gets me. What are you trying to say? That people like to talk about beings as if they are like a being. We have the discernment to say, okay, that it's a physical being or a non-physical being, but we always have in our minds that there's a shape. A lot of us do anyways, that these beings who are a non-physical or whatever, they're like there's a shape to them. And what they're trying to say is that consciousness can be like like light, like a wave of light that travels through dimensions and realms. So if you have a soul that's in a non-physical form that is just experiencing, then that's what will happen. And this consciousness will just flow through these different levels. So the Lyrans are saying that, for example, with the High Priestess band, the consciousness has to be of a certain quality in order to find that band, find the High Priestess band, but it's transient. It can move through and then leave, carry right on to the next thing. And so, but then you can also have consciousness that will stick around for a while. And that's where you can have people will have ongoing relationships in the form of guides or even short-term or long-term guides. Because that consciousness will stay almost in one place for a bit. So anyway, they wanted to share that, and that's cool because I haven't been shown that before. So there is a question that's come up. What's your question, love?
So would it be similar to when I've channeled a lot of times I'll chant it. I guess the only way that I can explain it is maybe a rising priestess, like maybe a consciousness that is coming into that bandwidth.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's yeah.
same. So that would be similar to kind of like what I was sharing when I showed you that flow chart. I didn't have specifically on there about the high priestess, but we had the diamond consciousness, and the diamond consciousness is the step before you get to like an ascended master sort of thing. So I have an aspect. I'm not saying me, okay? I'm not my ego, it doesn't need that. But there is an aspect of me, Tigress of the Light, that is in that process. Okay, so there's people who, believe it or not, are working with Tigress of the Light. I got an email the other day about that, like, oh yeah, Tigress of the Light showed up, and it's like, wow, that's so cool. I mean, that's how it goes, right? So yeah, so you, all of you, can have aspects doing different things that are in different transition points and experiencing and helping others, um and you may or may not be conscious of it. Odds are that you probably aren't. But yes, that is exactly, yes. You can be connecting with beings who are in the process of all kinds of different things. And our guides, they have missions too, right? And they part of their mission is to assist us in whatever it is that we're doing. And then when they either get a new mission or we essentially outgrow what they can offer, then we have a change in guides. So all of that goes on. I remember the first time that I was introduced to a guide, and I was absolutely in love with him. It was like, oh, because like he was just so close to me, and I felt so much support and love and confidence from him. And then he disappeared one day. And I was like, well, what the heck? Where did you go? When there's just silence, there's nothing. There's like literally I'm in a space of there's no one. And I was working with someone at the time, and I go in and I'm like, I don't know where my guides have gone. And he told me, actually, well, you're in a transition phase. You're about to like basically level up, and then you'll get new guides. But I was in like this no man's land where there was no guides there yet because the energies hadn't settled and whatever. So all of that goes on too. Yeah. Okay. The Lyrans, cats. No matter how you want to pronounce it, they're just cats. Cats, the cat people. Okay. So that was the one message. What else are we going to do? Are we doing an activation? Kama kada sketch kama tana ipeta eskabato kamandi tana utbata chiana tana tukumanana. They're bringing in some humor. They want to bring in humor. They're a very humorous bunch. Thank you for including us today. Don't forget, there's 5. itana kemade shi tana tokabata na mana I shikabata nakabana nakamana tokibshina kabadan. There's great confusion over the times that humanity is in, the direction that humanity is going, which is nothing new and a message that you receive often and are living. Navigating such challenging times requires a great deal of bravery and perseverance that is found truly with the heart. So once again, you are brought back to your heart. Every step forward in your evolution comes from this space. If one neglects their heart, they are not in alignment. Full stop. Period. No shamantai. There are many energies that you humans call agendas being played out on your planet. To understand these agendas, come back to your heart. We invite you to find the humor in the agendas that get played out. Because the humor creates the lightness to continue coming back to your heart to see and understand the greater picture. Most of you are most concerned with what's happening now because you are experiencing it. And obviously you don't want to suffer. Some of you are also concerned for future generations because you do not want them to suffer. And although there are these many agendas at play, the energies can only go so far. As in, they can only reach a certain level of expression. This is because in your realm, you have a limitation to how much the opposition energies can display. As in, they can only express themselves through a certain degree. This is a balancing act. Your experience is one of duality, one of light and dark, which is where opposition and light come in, light and dark. So it would behoove you to understand the truth of darkness. It will behoove you to understand, because if you understand darkness, you understand light, and you are not standing in fear when you look at darkness and when darkness approaches you. You can transmute it before you in that very moment. And this is a very valuable skill to have. To be able to transmute the challenge right before your eyes. Don't forget, your experience is actually all that counts. You are part of the oneness. So it starts with you. How you perceive is the only important thing. How you respond is the only important thing. So if you can respond and perceive the happenings of your world with clarity, with understanding of what's really going on, that bigger picture, you transmute the energies and raise the consciousness not only for yourself, but for all of humanity and the planet at large. Be careful, though, not to misunderstand the many agendas that are at play and the many beliefs that are at play can be very confusing and distorting of the bigger picture, which is why you are encouraged to always come back to your heart and seek neutrality. Neutrality is the best position that you can place yourself. So as you approach this 8-8 portal, or any more energetically strong time or event, such as full moons, new moons, eclipses of any kind, or other important dates that humanity has arbitrarily created, use that momentous energy. Use the momentum of that time to direct your consciousness seeking clarity in truth in accordance with your heart essence and love. Remain neutral to what you perceive in the world. Remain gentle in what you perceive in the world. Remain in awe at the beauty of your world. Remain in innocence, like a little child. Remember what it was like to see a bug crawling across the earth and think it was just wonderful. Remember what it's like to look at a pine cone for the first time, to feel it. Remember what it was like as a child to pick a blade of grass and make a kazoo. All these things bring you into softness. All of these things bring you into sweetness. All these things build your field with these energies. All coloring your perspective, your perception. Because no matter what, as Homo Luminous, the light being that you are, no matter what, you have some filter to perceive the world through. but ideally you continue to seek as clear a filter as possible. Pashigamata, and it may as well be a nice one. Pachana tangitgamatakamane shita. Hara hara. Hara 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 sa sa sa. Ooh. Normally they're a little more upbeat than that, but that was pretty sweet anyway. Mmm. The errands. Wow. We were kind of being told there, weren't we? It's like being scolded without being scolded. Well, you know, clarity is a good thing. We keep asking for it. We keep asking for it. All right. So Isis and Yeshua are next. They are wanting to offer a universal light language healing, soothing. They want to stay in the realm of soothing energy. And then we'll probably wrap it up with totality. It's a lot of different energies. I hope that you're feeling the differences. The light language itself can sound very similar, and that's because these are the sounds that my body can make, that I'm able to physically make. But it's the frequencies that are coming through. So it's not just about the sounds. It's not about the words that are created. It goes far beyond that. So I see in the chat there that, yes, some of you are acknowledging, yeah, that you feel the differences. So that's great. It's a really good exercise for increasing your discernment skills and being able to more consciously perceive different energies. So it's always fun I think, to listen to these recordings and practice that. So that's another way that that you can potentially, those of you who are interested in speaking light language and even speaking multiple dialects, you can feel the vibrations of these languages, and that'll help to connect you with these different consciousness and beings, so that you can perhaps channel them yourself if that's of interest. Okay, so Isis and Yeshua. Thank you for inviting us into this sacred circle. We are beings who stand by humanity, who choose to actively participate and assist any and all people possible, especially those who specifically call on us. There is much magic to discover, and we love to show all of you this magic of your world, and to help you become more masterful with working with the energies of this plane. Please do not hesitate to call on us at any time. Either one of us individually or both of us. We are happy to work together as we are doing today in this moment. The message, the healing that we would like to offer you today is balancing the divine feminine and masculine. So we're first going to invite you to tune into your central channel, that channel of light that runs just in front of the spine, and runs through the entire body. You can even breathe with this channel. If you know how to do so. If not, don't worry about it. Just relax and receive. We start with the light channel because it is in the center of the body. Many people, it's not in the center of the body. Various energies and experiences, traumas, beliefs, etc., knock the central channel off its center. And then that creates an imbalance within the physical vessel. The emotional body, physical bodies, and the energy body. So we are helping to bring that central channel back into the center. Its rightful position. The benefits also of having the central channel in the center of the body is the increased heart connection. It is hard for you to really feel the depths of your heart if the light channel is not behind the center of your heart. Now, we're not talking about the physical heart, we are talking about the energetic heart, which is in the center right about here. And it is approximately the size of your hand. We would also like to draw your attention to your back heart, which is often forgotten. But many of you have experienced various emotional events and traumas that have distorted the energies in your back heart. The expression being stabbed in the back comes to mind. Yet that is really the distortion of the heart chakra in the back. If you have issues in this area of the body, if you see a chiropractor, it will be that area of the spine that continuously needs to be adjusted. You may also find that you have a lot of tension in your shoulder blades that can relate, that can be referred into headaches and neck tension. So it's nice to tend to the back heart. And you can also focus in your own time on your back heart by breathing with the heart, such as the exercise that you were given at the beginning of this video, where we breathe with the heart in and out with the breath. But you can also take it to the back heart, where you imagine, feel, sense, and perceive breathing with the back heart. Where you inhale the energy into the heart and exhale out the back heart. Or you can inhale through the front heart and exhale out the back heart. Now that your light channels are more centered, we are going to continue on balancing the divine feminine and masculine aspects of your being. There is a lot of confusion in humanity's consciousness right now regarding the divine feminine and masculine. And for a long, long time, the divine feminine has been suppressed. That is because the divine feminine is the great creator of this realm. So a lot of false power has been given to the divine masculine, distorting its proper participation within individuals and collective of humanity. The truth is that we need humanity to have both of these aspects in harmony and in balance, just like the yin and the yang. Both support one another, and having these aspects balanced is very important to have a healthy, vibrant human being. We'll now move into an energetic transmission that is specifically for both activating, aligning, and balancing these two aspects. Hatiya takamatana yishugabata takabana yisugotana bishina parale yasgamatakamata yishugabatana tana yisigati itakatana patakatna yisgabata yisgabatukumada. The balance comes from the back part. Yeah, kontakamanda, that aspect of yourself that you are rarely taught to connect to. So we invite you to bring your attention to that area of the body as we continue this transmission. Pikataki takapatana, potakamandia takapatanana, patakamandia takapatanana, potakamandia takapatanana, potakamandia pokatanana, potakamandia pokatakamana, potakamandia takapatanana, tikirikapati, secretary, kotana asana, tia takana, santana, aidana, sedari, dadari, panu. Shani tana takapatano popo. So this balancing will continue over a period of time. And if you are feeling as though the divine feminine and masculine are out of balance within your being, we invite you to remember this transmission and to draw your attention to your back part. And that will help you to balance these energies within your own being on your own. And you are welcome to call on us for our assistance as well. Please call on us whenever you desire. It is our greatest pleasure and honor to be of assistance. Patama, hara, 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 sa, sa, sa. Thank you, Lady Isis and Yeshua. Wow. That was very centering for me. I hope you found so as well. Found a lot of energies, especially in my neck as well. I have a bit of a stiff neck today. I was doing a lot of handstands yesterday, and so it's crept its way into my neck today, but I can really feel that energy working on that, and the back heart as well. Very nice. Thank you for that suggestion. Okay, lovelies, we have one more. We have the totality now. High Priestess totality consciousness. I'm just going to give myself a moment, though. Let the energy settle. I'm sure that that you can probably use a moment as well. Are there any questions while we're just taking a little bit of a breather? No worries if there aren't, just you're also welcome to share your experience. Have a sip of water.
We have a question.
Going back a little bit, you had said you wanted to make sure that you didn't overreact.
Hmm.
How do you do that? I mean, how do you know when things are hitting you or getting you or you're uncomfortable? How do you not overreact?
Excellent question. Certainly one that is requires a little bit of self-awareness and mastery. So it is something that's practiced. What I found is the more the more I am in tune with my energy, and the more my energy is flowing, the freer, the better. The less reactive I am, because then I'm centered and grounded, and then of course connecting with the heart space. The heart is the part of us that has the capacity for all of it. So my teacher and partner, he would always tell me, you have to love it all. I'm like, yeah, easy for you to say. Um, yeah, you have, but that's the truth of the matter. We do have to find a way to love it all. And when we get closer to that, then we're certainly less reactive. The other thing that I noticed was through my healing journey, I've done a lot, right? I've done a lot of the shadow work. I've done lots of belief work. I made a real game out of it. It became a lot of fun for me. It was like hunting for treasures. And I didn't I got over the fear of like the shadows and stuff, because sometimes they present as like great big monsters. Oh, you don't want to look at that. That's way too scary, right? Like it's a way too overwhelming and everything. And I'm very fortunate in the kind of personality that I am, that wasn't a big challenge for me to overcome. And then I started having fun with it. I was like, no, bring it on. Like, well, let's clear this stuff. Like, I don't want to be carrying it anymore. And it's very much like in Harry Potter with the boggart, right? That shape-shifting thing that turns into your greatest fear, and then you basically laugh at it and turns into nothing at all. Well, that's what all of this is. So if I experienced something, if not even past tense, current tense, if I experience something that's triggering and I catch it, then I can deal with it. I can kind of go, oh, whoops. I don't want to have that response. What am I doing? That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. That's not who I'm becoming. That's not who I am. So I stop. Like I literally had this experience today when I was walking. I always go for a walk in the forest. I live in, no, I literally live in a treehouse, but I live in a forest. And there's trails for miles over here. And I'm walking along the trail, and those of you guys probably know that when you're working out or when you're walking especially, it's a great time to process things. Stuff comes up, stuff that you long forgot about, and then you start ranting and you start thinking of all the things that you could have said. And or in reflecting upon what you did say and how it did go down and how it all makes you feel. And those reflections are good. And it also gives you an opportunity to rewrite it. So I'm bringing this up because this is all triggering too, right? Like these are all triggers. Everything's a potential trigger. So I'm walking along and I realize I'm ranting about something, and I caught myself. And it took me, I realized, a long time for me to catch that I was doing this. But I did. And then as soon as I realized, whoops, okay, stop. I don't want to be doing this anymore. This isn't who I am. I am choosing to release this. And then I breathe and I tune in with my heart. And it's like, it just melts or vanishes or vaporizes or whatever, like there's some kind of action that takes place, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, there it goes. It's just gone. And then I'm like, wow, is it really that easy? I've been doing this for a while, and I always have to question, right? Is it really that easy? And it's like, yeah, it's really that easy. We make up that it has to be some big deal. So in this healing journey, I went from being almost like being volatile is a badge of honor somehow. Like that was the circles I was in with people who were highly dysfunctional and incredibly emotional, and they were not teaching me to be a better human being. In fact, they were basically teaching me to be a worse human being, not because they're bad people, just that's the programs that we're running, right? And then I start healing, and then I start becoming aware of, oh wait, I'm reacting to this. Why am I reacting to this? And then you get into the digging and the shadow work. But at a certain point, you realize you don't even have to do that. You just have to acknowledge it and make the declaration. And then there's that famous saying, just let it go. Yeah, just let it go. Yeah. Like, yeah, right. How are you going to do that? Well, it literally is that.
Let it go.
How we translate that into something that's actually tangible and something that you might feel like you could actually do is breathing with your heart and allowing your insides to relax. So when we get triggered, we get super tense, right? And we're reliving an experience. We're reliving something that was upsetting or disturbing or whatever, right? It was upsetting in some way. And we're reliving it, and we're just relating it to whatever our current experience is. But if we can stop, get into our heart, and breathe it, just breathe it out. And with practice, this gets pretty fast. And in a couple of breaths, just like that grounding exercise we were talking about earlier, how in 2-3 breaths you can be grounded. Well, in 2 to 5 or 10 breaths, you can take a pretty intense emotion and allow the body to relax around it. Now you have perspective, because now you're not in just a fight or flight response. Now you can actually look at, wow, what's actually going on here? And it's usually just some automatic response that's playing out from some other thing that happened ages ago. And maybe you can directly make that connection and deal with it in that moment, or maybe not. But even if you don't deal with the core, at least you're training your body and you're training your nervous system how to let go of something tough. And every time you do that, your response will either become less or less frequent. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you.
So that's what personally I found. And then I have heard from others that is also their experience as well.
Thank
And
you.
it's been the experience with clients.
And
too.
another thing you said is like everything that's like happening now, so it don't really matter. So it's again, it's like dropping the thing, but how do you make that? Well, it's happening now. It's kind of matters now, or does it really not matter now? Is it a choice we make?
So obviously we are living an experience, and
Right.
that experience is important and it matters. But it only matters to the degree that we give it power. This is a tough one. I'm not going to lie. It's super tough. If you're experiencing something, strong, dramatic, powerful, if you're in a lot of pain, for example, that's pretty hard to just say, oh, well, this doesn't matter.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty tough. So, but what I'm finding is that if you are, let's say, in a lot of pain, whatever pain that is, right? Physical, emotional, whatever it might be, to remember that you are a soul that's come to this earth plane to experience things. You're coming to experience heartache. You're coming to experience physical pain. You're coming to experience joy. You're coming to experience what it's like to bask in the sunshine, to swim in the ocean, to work for a law firm, like whatever it is, you're here having an experience, but you still give all the meaning to that experience. So if you have, let's say, a knee pain, you can make up a lot around that, right? You can say, oh, well, that represents such and such, and it's on this side of my body, so it means that it's the feminine and it's my sister, or I don't know, whatever. Like there's all this body symbology that I'm not trained in. My partner is, so he talks about it. You can make up a lot of stuff around that, and it can be helpful for perhaps shifting the energy around why that's come up. But at the same token, we still are giving it that meaning. And we still chose to experience it, and the weight of it is going to determine, I think, how much impact it has on our lives. Complicated again, because if we ignore it, that's an energy that's probably going to come back, keep haunting us until we deal with it. So it's a little bit of like getting a big enough perspective that you understand it's all just an experience, and then having enough consciousness and taking responsibility for the energies within and around your being simultaneously. So when you can do that, then you're not attaching to the event, whatever is happening, the knee pain. Okay, you're not attaching to it. You're not being defined by it. You're not making it into something that it isn't, but it's playing out. So you're going, okay, well, I'm going to be a conscious person, and I'm going to address those energies and let it go. Do you see what I mean? So it's like you're not dissociating, you're not dismissing, you're not ignoring, but you're also not giving it any more power than it needs to have.
You're just basically understanding what's happening. You're understanding, I have knee pain. I wanted to experience this. I have it. Okay. And just kind of set your mindset as this was an experience I wanted to do, and I'm doing it. And
Yeah.
this is it. This is what it's going to be.
Yes, and then taking responsibility for having that experience, for those energies that have manifested as knee pain. And then,
And what do you mean by that? I didn't mean to
so
interrupt. I'm sorry.
yeah, so everything that we experience is a expression of energy. So if we look at the knee pain, there can be ancestral reasons to have the knee pain. The knee pain could be a belief that we had that is dysfunctional, that is now showing up as knee pain. Or it could be something that was passed down from our ancestors that is now being expressed as knee pain because it hasn't been dealt with yet. So the knee pain is just the fire, but you're not sure what caused the fire. But there's a fire going on. And so what are you going to do? Are you going to take Advil and pretend it doesn't exist? Or are you going to say, oh, okay, this has come up. Thank you. I don't like it, but what do I need to know? What do I need to address? What needs to shift? And then you don't attach to whatever that is, whatever that energy is. We're not attaching ourselves to it. We're not allowing it to become a bigger part of us than it already is, because that's a dysfunction. The knee pain is a dysfunction. We can be a healthy vital being. If we aren't healthy, vital beings, then there's something amiss. And it's okay. It's okay because that's part of the experience, right? It could be your soul wants to know how to handle the knee pain so that it gets to be functional again. So again, not attaching and making something big out of it, like we've done something wrong. Nobody is a bad person. Like it's not like we don't need to make this big deal out of everything, but acknowledge, okay, it's here. It's my body. It's my experience. It's my life. It's my me. And all of it's my energy. So it's up to me to neutralize it, to shift it into a healthier expression. And in doing so, then that pain's going to go away because you've addressed it. You didn't put a mask on it. You didn't say, oh, it's his fault over there because he's a jerk and he cut me off in traffic, whatever it is, right? You're not putting it on to somebody else. You're saying, oh, my body, my experience, my life, my pain. Okay. What do I need to do?
That's hard.
You're taking the victim out of it. I'm not the victim. This is my
Well,
experience, my choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the victim mentality that's a big card. That's a big card that a lot of people are inflicted with and have to work through. And it is so liberating to be free of it. It is so liberating to be free of it. Like a lot of times we're so afraid to take responsibility. We're taught from a very young age to give our power away to all kinds of people. Our teachers, our doctors, there's that whole white coat syndrome, right? Like it's totally known and acknowledged. We're taught at a young age to give our power away. So when we give our power away, what does that leave us? Well, if we're not in our power, we're obviously a victim. So it's this process of taking our power back. And the more you stand in your power, because it's going to be, a lot of people, it's going to be tentative. It's going to be like, you're going to inch forward into it. Oh, I don't know about this, but we'll give it a try. Like one step at a time. And then go, I don't want that much responsibility. Someone else take it from me. It's a process, but as you creep forward and you're reminded over and over and over again, do you want to be a victim? No. Do you want to be a victim? No, not really. You start to realize just how good it feels to not look outside for anything. You, as a conscious human being, are capable of way more than you could ever imagine. You are everything. You are everything. And what's criminal is how all of us have been disconnected from our true divine nature. We're disconnected from our relationship to the earth. I was on a walk the other day with my partner and there were some berries growing and I said, oh, geez, I wonder what plant that is. I wonder if those red berries are poisonous, right? Don't eat the red berries. Well, we picked them anyway, right? And it's a very prickly bush. It was like blackberries on steroids. Like this was really hard to pick these red berries. And I thought, well, they must be pretty good for you if they're this hard to get. Well, it turns out it was like devil's claw or something. We're reading about it and it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to eat the red berries. Well, he ate the red berries. He ate them because he had a good feeling about them. At the time, he was dealing with some oral stuff, like mouth things. He had been to the dentist and the dentist, does stuff. And for him in that moment, it was a good thing. For another person, it might be poison. But for
Isn't that
him in that
crazy?
moment, it was good because he's in tune. And this, this is how the universe works. So we're on this walk and we're talking and not, barely paying attention to where we are. And then I stop dead in my tracks. I smell tobacco. And to my, what's this? My right was this devil's claw. And interesting. Why am I smelling tobacco
Right.
with this plant? There's no tobacco, no one's smoking. So anyways, so that's when we picked some of the berries. Well, we'll figure out what it is. Continued on the walk. Well, the path looped back around to the devil's claw. I smelled the tobacco again. So it was meant for him. He was really meant to have that. And I feel like as Homo luminous, as conscious human beings, we should be so in tune with our environment that we should know what is appropriate for us, what is okay for us, what's supportive for us, and what isn't. And that's something that's, like I said, it could be poison for one person, it could be a cure for another person, right? Well, it's one person's poison is a cure for another. When we're really, really, really in tune, I'm not saying go out and eat berries that you don't know, but what I'm saying is that we should get to that place. And I think with the golden age, with this consciousness that's coming in, with this awakening that's happening, we will be more in tune with our environment. We will be more in tune with our medicines. And we can take responsibility and not be in that fear for knowing this is going to help me.
Right.
I have way more stories. They're not my stories. Unfortunately, they're all his stories. He's got way too many stories on this topic. But so I can't speak from firsthand, but I'm, he's my partner and he's shared a lot. And so I can tell you firsthand from witnessing him what can be. And gosh, that's empowering. Again, stepping out of the victim, stepping into your empowered state and knowing what's healthy for us and taking responsibility for those energies when they come around. And then having the confidence to say, I can deal with this. And if I can't deal with this, I can call someone to help me. Because you don't have to do it all alone. You do not have to walk the path alone. We are a consciousness that's evolving together. We are a oneness energy, and which is also, of course, something that's being disconnected from all of us. So we have this idea that we can't ask for help. For somehow it's disempowering and you're weak for asking for help, when actually you can ask for help from an incredibly empowered state because you know what you know, and you know that that person has the tools and the abilities to help move you through whatever it is that you're experiencing. And it doesn't mean that you need to stay with them. It might be one session and you move on.
Right.
It might take 3 years, whatever it is. But you're in command. You're the one who's in charge, and you're the one who's walking your path. And I know that can be a scary thing, but trust me, it's not scary at all. It's not scary at all. It's just good.
It's just, thank you so much.
Truly. I'm going to read, I have messages here. I love with each transmission, the visual lights are so beautiful. For example, Centurions brought in royal blue lights, and I felt that it was really penetrating into my cells. Lyran's energy translated into beautiful shapes in white light. Isis and Yeshua was so calming, and I went into another space. Thank you so much for this experience. Thank you for sharing that. And then another one, you mentioned that Lara, Tigress of the Light shows up in others' consciousness. When I go into fractal line healing, you do often show up. Is that your priestess fractal coming in to help? Let me ask. Yes, yes, it is. Tigress is more evolved than me. Then hi. I'm working on integrating Tigress. But yes, yeah, that aspect is yeah, that's so we all have higher selves, right? All have these higher aspects that have the greater perspective of everything, which is of course why people have this fascination and need and desire to connect in with our higher aspects, because then we can start to receive greater greater levels of awareness and in more dimensions, more dimensional awareness. And I'm starting to understand that this holographic fractal avatar that we as humans can individually choose to work towards or not, right? It's a choice. But for me, that is the direction I'm going, and Tigress of the Light is that future self that's sort of working with that energy that's yet to be actualized. It actually, like, even though everything happens now, there is still a process of evolution that has to take place. And so for, I think it was, yeah, the 6-dimensional holographic fractal avatars are pretty much complete. 5th is in process, 4th is in process, 3rd is in process, dimensions, I mean. But yeah, Tigress is in part, has part of that figured out because our higher aspects span across multiple dimensions. So yeah, that might have been complicated. I hope not. I hope that made sense. Good, good. see everybody's saying, no, we get it. That's good. Okay, let's jump into totality. Totality. So this is the High Priestess totality frequency. So this is a big energy. Just give me a moment to expand enough for it. So when I'm connecting with this, my being has to like expand to capture the edges so that I get the whole thing. Because it's like a dish. Picture a dish, and the dish does have a boundary to it, right? There's like dish and then not dish anymore. so like a plate. Oh my gosh, not a dish, a plate. It's a plate. Picture a plate. And my consciousness has to see all the edges of the plate so that I'm completely like enveloped in it. And that whole band gets to come in through my crown and then be expressed however they're wanting to do that. In connection with my heart, of course. Okay, so this is universal light language now because it's totality. Oh, I probably wasn't clear. When we channeled each of the other ones, that was in their specific dialect. So the Pleiadians, that was in the Pleiadian light language. The Lemurian was in Lemurian light language, that sort of thing. Yeshua and Isis were universal, and totality, High Priestess totality is universal. Ramati Shikapataki Kapakamana Esela is Shikamatakamin Isa Pashiamatana Panaisi. Batayasano Kapato. Greetings, my friends. We are continuing our gratitude for our continued presence with you. We invite you to breathe with us, to breathe with this energy. The energy that we're bringing in for you today will help you to expand how much light you can carry within your being. So imagine every breath is the expansion, and every exhale is perfectly compressing the energy into your physical vessel. For those of you choosing to become more conscious of the Homo Illuminus, this will be particularly helpful for you on that quest. The fractal avatar holographic light body. So for those of you who are choosing not to participate on this journey of the holographic fractal light body, this transmission will help just to raise your vibration so that you can continue to choose the direction that you wish to move in. Either way, you will receive a vibrational upgrade, and you get to choose to do with it what you wish. Please continue to breathe with your heart, focusing on inhaling as an expansion and exhaling as a compression. The compression of the energy helps to integrate it within all levels of your being. The compression happens naturally, but we are asking you to increase your conscious awareness of this action. Consciousness, growing consciousness. Ana ai shikamata kita yisikita na asat lay shikamata kamati yisa takamata kata lote mani takamani sikita kino kabata na atsi satana atakabade shikamata kun tanna tia sa tanna isiyat kata dia pa hapani isiyat kapatani ko tani iskapati ko panan gishkana atana tiat ko hatigat kana takamana takada isiyat kamata kushikama atana asa Hatia tukamata kita kamata ishikabat andukabata isikabata na apa ishkamana. These alignments are also going to help you as the planet moves into that blip that's happening in all of our space, in the space-time continuum. It's a slipping into a different shape. It's quite exciting. We have been waiting for this moment for a long time. And you had no idea that it was coming. Some of you on some levels did know, some of you were told before you came into this life, but many weren't. Surprise! He dana dana asana adana 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 asana adana asana adana asana adana asana adana asana hana hara 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 hada, hada, han. Dari is a command, Gimana is command, the Roman needs a command to get the Cordade, and Roman command, happening is command to get the Cordade, Roman is company is get the theaters, get the data, Hatia, the Cordade, Compatadi is command to get the Cordade, is command is command, happening is a candidate, Cordade, and Manda Gabanese, Canada is a command to get companies to go to the Cardinaba, happening is a company is going to come again, Danny is Anna, Ani, is a command is a command, hold the command, Hondigman, Homadiga, 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 Hum, hey, second Radadi, Monday, Zigamani, Zigamani, Zamani, Zigamani, 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 Honani, Zigamanja, Homani, Zigamana, Zigama, Homani, Zigaman, 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 Naizgama, Han, Naizgaman, hey, the Cabrandani, hey, the Grandin, hey, the Grandagamanation, hey, the Gabanshikabat, the Gamanashikabat, and Yushkabat, Shkabat, yet the Gana, had to get a, 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 hat, hon, hun, Hishikama, hun, Hishkama, hun, Hishikama, hun, Hishkama, hat to get a, 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 ho, hum, ho, home, ho, home, ho, home, Hishikama, 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 hey, hon, Hishikama, the Atikama, ah, Hashikama, Hashikama, Shigina, so. Hotikabe, he anagabada, he apadana, he apadana, he apadana, he apadana, nisugama, outdogua, hotcha, haja, 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 hainda, nagaba, ashgamana, ashgamana, ashgabada, 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 ishgabada, 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 gamana, ishgabada, robotana. Hi China, 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 hi China. Dana ay sigma inugumana wana I say duguma dana say atikmana dana say atikmana dana say atikme ishi the isama tukmata. Okay, big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Wanatama, 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 wanatama. Feeling the heart now, feeling the heart expanding, becoming more conscious and aware of the heart. Becoming more conscious and aware of the heart's expansion. Yeshua coming in now, placing his hand over your heart. Breathing deeply, feeling his presence. Calling your heart forward in new ways. As you are surrounded by beautiful high priestess energy, holding you and comforting you, healing the heart, releasing all that needs to be released at this time, so that the heart can come forward in ways that you have yet experienced. Reminder of how much you are loved and how you are love. We offer you comfort and peace in knowing that you never walk this path alone. That you are capable of great things, especially when you are connecting to your heart and connecting to your love. No one can ever take that away from you. You are an immensely powerful being. You are an immensely powerful being. You are an immensely powerful being. Calling forward your heart to experience that truth in reality. Feeling your heart being wrapped in golden white light. Supported, protected, and amplified. Your heart radiating out into space. To touch all those you come across in perfect ways. Lighting the way before you. Your path illuminated with your heart's light. Your perfect heart. Free of all distortion, pain, upset, traumas, beliefs. Your perfect, sacred heart that is untouchable. This is your truth. This is who you are. Everything else is a falsity. Everything else is a shadow. You are this heart. This perfect, beautiful heart. And we hold you in this space. We hold you and uplift you and support you and guide you and honor you for choosing to walk in this space. And na isikabatana isikabanio tana nio atena isikamatana yasanata yasoka hachanatas honapane. Never be afraid to walk with your heart wide open. You will change lives. You will change your own life. Your capacity for life will increase beyond your wildest dreams. And you are now the attractor field for what your heart desires. Your perfect, divine expression of love. Heart space, illuminated, expanded. The energy is now feeding your field. And it is here that we leave you for now. Yet we are just a call away. Hara 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 sa sa sa. Well, that was a wonderful conclusion. Whew. almost had me crying there for a moment.
It did me. And I just want to thank you. You are just so, there's no word. Fascinating, empowering. I just appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that.
And I know it took a lot of energy to do, but I'm so grateful.
Mm.
Grateful for you and grateful for what we received.
It was my honor and privilege to be of service. And thank you. Thank you for coming today and participating.
Golly.
That
I know
was
you're going to
beautiful.
sleep good.
Thank you so, so much. There's no words. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. You guys. Wow. Truly, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for calling forward all those incredible beings. You know, I always ask before I do anything like this, like, you guys coming? You're not gonna like hang me out to dry, are you? And they were like, no, we're coming, no worries. And that there was gonna be some really amazing energies come through, and yeah, like, I'm really, really grateful that you were here and that you held the space for that and that you received those energies. And it really is such a gift for me to be able to share this with you, to share this experience with you. I'm really, really grateful that you're here. So really thank you from the bottom of my heart for calling these energies forward, because it's because of you that they showed up. So really grateful. Thank you. Okay, now I just want to leave space for a moment in case there's anybody who wants to ask a question here. We're just wrapping up, but I'm if you have a question or if you want to share anything, please do so before we just close. Oh, I think
There you go.
Joni and I have been dealing with some things this week, and it's like um, everybody that came through kind of addressed the little steps that we've been making all week. And we just kept, if you watch the video, we keep looking at each other going like, oh, this is what we just learned. And it was like almost like a personal session kind of.
It did feel
A
that way.
validation for us. And I can't tell you how exciting that is. I mean, it was really just that personal to us of what we just this week, really.
Just this week, yeah, because what it was nothing you could look in a book and say, and it happened very quickly, and it was like with a certain being and entity, and we just, Lacey said, let's do this, and I said, all right, we just, paved the way. So, but you never know if you're doing it right. But everything that you said and did validated that it was like they were speaking to us.
Yeah, when you watch the video, you would just
You're
see
like,
us
we're like,
looking.
going, can you believe that?
It was great. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
How
Yeah.
cool. Very
It was
cool.
an awesome
Thank you.
experience.
Awesome. And this is her birthday gift from like,
Yes.
your birthday was way back. I said, oh, by the way, happy birthday.
Aw. Massive blessings.
I have them. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Aw. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's wonderful. All right, my friends. Well, thank you once again for joining me, and hopefully we'll get to see you with the next one. I'm going to sign off this recording here. So all blessings, everybody. Mhm.